Hey YouTube world, Harvest is plenty. Thanks for stopping by to check out the video. You know, as I decided to make part 2 of this video, I realized that most people are completely oblivious to danger, are completely clueless. They don't recognize the danger that they're in until it's too late. And I'm hoping that this video could, mitigate the risk or reduce your chances of somebody that you love, chances of getting hurt, injured, maimed, crippled, or killed, or kidnapped, or whatever, because there's a lot of wicked people out there. The Bible warns us to be alert and be of sober mind, because our enemy, the devil, walks around like a roaring lion, seeking whom he may devour. So we're told, a commandment from the Lord himself, we're told to be alert, to be of sober mind, and to be watchful. But most people, they simply are not. And I'm going to talk a lot about situational awareness. I even did a video about it. And I think that if you just practice situational awareness alone in itself, it will help reduce, maybe 95% of the stuff that could actually harm us or kill us or, hurt us or whatever the case may be. Just being situationally aware. But most people are not. Like this guy right here. He is not situationally aware. Let's take a look.
A holiday shopping warning. Millions use Facebook Marketplace to buy and sell gifts. But when one couple posted a laptop for sale, it led to a nightmare. The guys who showed up to buy it attacked them with bear spray.
You're about to see a holiday Facebook Marketplace deal turn violent. These two guys are there to buy a laptop computer that the homeowner has listed on the popular online platform that allows you to buy and sell anything from your car to furniture. The homeowner thinks the transaction for $2,700 is about to go through. Easy peasy. Suddenly, he's hit with bear spray. The laptop goes flying. The homeowner, blinded by the toxic chemical, grabs his attacker as his wife watches in horror. The struggle spills into the snowy street in Calgary, Canada. Brutal kicks rain down on the homeowner. His wife goes on the attack, grabbing a snow shovel. Then one of the robbers runs back into the house. Husband and wife team up to tackle the intruder. The husband whacks the robber with the snow shovel. They take it outside again as the wife tries to wipe the bear spray out of her eyes.
I was bear sprayed 4 or 5 times inside of our house.
Les Trent spoke to homeowner Jason Nguyen.
What is it like to be sprayed, to be hit with bear spray?
My entire face was pulsating red, as well as my wife too. She was hit with the bear spray outside of our house.
Facebook Marketplace is enormously popular. More than 1 billion people around the world use it without a problem. So, with Christmas coming up, security expert Bob Strang says there are ways to avoid a nightmare like this during a face-to-face sale.
Always meet in a public place if you can. You never have anybody at your home or your office. Do your homework a little bit. You ask the questions of them. Where do you live? What's your phone number?
The bear spray attack ends with the two bad guys fleeing.
Did they get the laptop?
They did not, no.
Facebook Marketplace does post safety tips, including a recommendation to meet in public places.
Wow. Did you guys see that? He's very lucky. So is his wife. And then some people may say that the two attackers are very lucky because the homeowner was in his right to use lethal self-defense. And I agree with them. But he was very, very, very lucky, the homeowner, fighting off two attackers. I mean, he let two attackers into his home, dressed in all black, wearing ski masks. Ding, 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 ding. Flashing red lights should have been going off, in his head. He should have been wired and very alert. But as I said, most people are oblivious. They're clueless to the danger until it's too late. Now, what if in the middle of the fight, if one of those attackers would have had more than bear spray and they would have produced a knife, a pocket knife, and would have started stabbing him? Or what if they'd have produced a handgun and would have shot him dead, and then shot his wife dead, and took the laptop. He was very lucky. And that's the situational awareness that I'm talking about, guys. You guys have to be situationally aware. You have to pay attention and know what's going on. You know, I was told a long time ago that people make bad decisions, but they never have to suffer the consequences for those decisions. So they continue to make them. But a time is coming where those bad decisions that they've been making all of their life, it's going to cost them. And it's going to cost them very dearly. And I don't want to see that happen to you guys. So there's a couple of things I want to just talk about real quick, and then I'll be on my way. One is practice situational awareness. It could eliminate maybe 90 to 95% of the danger that most people place themselves in, or that you may place yourself in. And not just you, your family, your loved ones. Pay attention, stay alert, practice situational awareness. 2, if you can, avoid large crowds. If you look at the videos in part 1, the mass stabbings, the Bondi Beach shooting, and most mass shootings and things like that, it happens in large venues when there's a lot of people. You know, active shooters, killers, they tend to wait till there's a lot of people around before they carry out their heinous acts. So avoid crowds if you can. And if you do have to go out and be around large crowds, and pay attention to what's going on. Watch people. You know, if it's 100 degrees outside and you see a guy walking around with a North Face jacket on in 100-degree weather, something is not right. Pay attention. I'm not saying anything is going to happen, but watch that guy. You see people inside of a building wearing ski masks. Watch them. You know, one of the things I tell the women in my life, all my cousins, my sisters, everybody, friends, when you're driving and you go into the grocery store or the parking ride, or you at a mall or something, never park next to cargo vans or dark SUVs with dark tint that you can't see inside of, because you don't know who's in there. You park next to a cargo van or a dark colored minivan, that sliding door could open up and it could be some guys that grab you and you disappear. Just being situationally aware of your surroundings. Another thing, change your routines if you like to go around and do things in the public space. I know people who like to go to movies, like I do. But you're not going to catch me in the theater at 11 o'clock at night, filled with a whole bunch of people on opening night. Most theaters are gun control places anyway. You know, you're ripe for an active shooter to show up and shoot up the theater. So I go during the mornings at the 10 o'clock show. Plus I get a discount. But you guys can do things like that if you do decide to go places. If you decide to go to the malls, you know, don't go during the time when there's large crowds like on Black Fridays, or things like that. So change your routines if you can. Another thing, when you're out and about in the public space, don't have earbuds in your ear with the music playing super loud, because you can't hear if someone is creeping up on you. If someone is yelling at you and telling you, hey, stop, don't move, don't go left, don't go right, hey, run, you can't hear if you have headphones or earbuds on in public spaces. I warn people about that all the time. Another thing, learn some type of first aid or trauma training. Take Stop the Bleed or things like that. What if, you know, someone pulls a home invasion on you and you have to fight them off? Or like the guy with the laptop at the beginning, and you get hurt, or your loved one gets hurt, gets stabbed, gets shot, get wounded. You are your own first responder. You have to tend to them until the ambulance or the paramedics arrive, until police arrive. So do you have any type of first aid training? Do you know how to pack wounds? You could take classes like Stop the Bleed. You could take a basic first aid class. Do you have tourniquets? Do you have bandages and gauze? Chest seals? Do you know how to use those type of things? If not, take some time to learn that. It's fairly inexpensive and won't take up much of your time to learn basic first aid. And remember, you're always your first responder, so act like it. Another thing, arm yourself if you can. With a gun, if you legally could do it. With a knife, with pepper spray, with something, some type of weapon that you could use. Ladies, arm yourselves with something. Men, arm yourselves. You just never know when an attack may come and who may be the attacker or attackers. Maybe somebody bigger, stronger, and faster. Maybe multiple attackers. Maybe you got an injury and you can't run. You can't, whatever the case may be. That weapon that you have on you may be the equalizer, especially when it's disparity of force. It may save your life. Just never know. There's a lot of places that you go to that you can't bring in a gun, but you probably could bring in pepper spray or mace, or maybe a knife or something. Who knows? If you can't bring in anything, when you're inside of buildings and places and things like that, look for impoverished weapons, things that you could use as a weapon in case something goes wrong. I do that all the time. I'm always looking for something I could use in my environment in case I have to fight and battle for my life. Another thing, if you can, practice some type of self-defense training. As I said, we're coming upon the new year, 2026. Make it a New Year's resolution to learn something new. And it doesn't matter whether it's judo, jiu-jitsu, Krav Maga, Muay Thai. I mean, I don't know, but practice something if you can, or learn some type of art. Edge weapon training, I don't know, but learn something. You may have to use that to fight for your life one day. You just never know. And then train it to your loved ones. Teach them something. You just never know where that training may save a life. I taught my loved ones how to deal with knife attacks. And we went over some things. Here's what you do if you can't run away in your corner and someone is trying to stab you. Try this technique, try that, try this, try that. If you can run away, run away. But if you can't, stand and fight. Here's some things that you can use as an impoverished weapon. Here's some things you can use as a shield. No, just different things. Talk about these things with your family. And don't be complacent. Don't think in terms of never. I live in a great neighborhood, so it'll never happen here. I live in a gated community, so nothing will bad happen in my gated community. This building is a gun-free zone, so nothing will ever happen here because there's a sticker at the door that says no weapons allowed. You just never know. So you always got to be alert. Always got to pay attention. Always got to practice situational awareness. Another thing that you could do to lessen the risk and protect yourself and your loved ones is to exercise. Yes, physical exercise. People have to get in shape. I know that's tough for some people because a lot of people are just lazy. They don't want to do anything. They've gained a lot of weight and they don't want to do anything to lose it. But you never know. One day you may have to fight for your life or for the life of a loved one. And if you're not in shape, you don't have any type of stamina or anything, you just might die. Or you may have to run for your life. And if you can't run and get away, you just might die. You know, I was just recently in a training, and maybe I'll speak about that in another video. And the instructor said, he started talking about physical fitness. And one of the things he said, fit people are hard to kill. and fit people are better at killing. And I was like, that's interesting. And so I'm sharing it with you guys. Another thing is, don't put yourself in trouble or bad situations or be in bad places. Like the girl in the gym. Now, kudos to her. This is in part 1. She fought the guy off in the gym. And she fought the guy, and she was able to escape. And I'm glad he was arrested. And he should be. He's a weirdo. Now, he didn't fight her back. He was just trying to grab her and hug her and lay on top of her. Pervert that he is. But he didn't fight her back. She fought. She got away. Good for her. But she's in the gym by herself at almost 10 o'clock at night. Ladies, don't go to the gym by yourself at 10 o'clock at night. And I know some people are going to say, well, maybe she worked late, or maybe, she got off of work at this time, or maybe, she was busy. That's the only time her schedule allows. Well, change your schedule, change your routine. That was something I talked about earlier. Change your routine. Well, you're not in the gym by yourself at 10 o'clock at night. You could prevent 90 to 95% of the danger by just practicing situational awareness, changing your routine, and not going to bad places in the wrong time. I know of people who have gotten robbed, and I asked them, hey, tell me what happened. Oh, I pulled up to this gas station in a bad part of town, at 1 o'clock in the morning to get some gas, and some guys robbed me. Why are you getting gas at the bad part of town at 1 o'clock in the morning? Well, I could have, went someplace else, but I decided to stop there because the gas was cheaper. Situational awareness, being at the wrong place at the wrong time. Don't get gas at the wrong part of town at 1 o'clock in the morning. If the gas is really cheap and you really like it, go back in the daytime. I mean, just a lot of things that we could do to keep us from getting hurt, harmed, crippled, or maimed, or getting attacked. Another thing, lock your doors. If you're in your car, lock your doors. When you put your car in park, sometimes it automatically unlocks. Lock your door if you're going to be sitting in there waiting, in your car. Lock your doors at home. Some people going in and out their house all day, they never lock their doors. I always lock my doors. You never know, people could just walk into your house unannounced, and now you have a fight on your hands. Now, I want to talk about the UPS killers. And it's all over the internet and people are talking about it. The gentlemen were dressed as UPS workers. And they went in and executed the family. And they say that, the family probably was involved in drugs or something to that effect. I don't know. But it was the young teenager that walked outside and led them back into the house. Led them to the door. Then they pulled a gun and forced their way in. But there was no UPS truck outside. Ding, 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 ding. Alarm bell should have been going off in that kid's head. But, most teenagers today, 2025, they spend most of their time either on social media or playing video games. They're out of touch with reality. As I said, most people don't recognize when they're in danger until it's too late. So talk to your kids. Talk to your nieces, your nephews, your godchildren of how to recognize danger. If someone's delivering a package and it's, you don't really have 2 UPS workers. And there's people who say, well, during the holidays when there's a lot of packages, there usually are 2 people, but one stay with the truck and the other one walk to the door. That could be the case. But if you have 2 individuals walking to your door, carrying packages, and there's no UPS truck around, ding, 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 danger, something is up. Now if the family were doing drugs, the father and the mom, should have said something like, hey, if we're dealing drugs, are we keeping cash here? we could possibly become targets of a robbery or something. So we need to keep some firearms around to protect ourselves, especially because we got kids here. So if someone does target you, you can protect yourself. And so I just want to just bring these things to mind for you guys. You know, I could talk about this stuff for hours, but I just want to keep it pretty generic. And last thing before I leave, it was what, 2019, I took a course, and there was a couple instructors who got together to put on a course. It was a counter-terrorist interdictive course where we were dealing with active shooters and terrorism. Now, I'm not a law enforcement guy. I'm not a military guy. I'm just a regular Joe Blow civilian, and I was able to get into the course. It was a live fire course, and I learned a whole bunch of stuff. But the first day was classroom style, and it was taught by a guy by the name of Dr. William April. May he rest in peace. He passed away in 2020. Good guy. He taught us a lot of stuff, and I'm glad that I was able to take the course or take the class and have him teach, you know, us the first day in the classroom. And he talked about something that he called VCAs, or violent criminal actors, and the psychology behind them and why they commit these heinous acts and do the things that they do. And you know, he has a history of law enforcement and mental psychology and all of this stuff. So we talked about that and dealt with that for a full day. It was like 8 hours, and we watched a lot of video. I mean, he had access to a lot of videos of robberies, of stabbings, of shootings, of terrorist attacks, all kind of stuff. He was highly connected with a lot of people in the alphabet agencies, so he was able to get a lot of footage. A lot of it was horrendous and just gruesome and bloody, but he had us watch it to learn about attacks and pre-attack indicators and a lot of things we talked about. We watched interviews with people who were psychopathic and learned things from their perspective. And then there was one point where we watched a video where they had these criminals. They brought like maybe 7 or 8 of them into a room from a penitentiary. They all were violent offenders who were in for like double murder, rape, like a lot of stuff, kidnapping, just a lot of really violent stuff. And they asked these guys, how do they select their victims? And a lot of times it was based on situational awareness. They chose people who were not paying attention. They were walking with their head down with low confidence. They appeared to have low self-esteem. They looked to be a soft target. Because a lot of criminals, it was 3 things that they feared, that they talked about, you know, in the interviews. They didn't want to get caught. They didn't want to anybody that would put up a fight, and they didn't want to get hurt or killed in the process. So they looked for easy victims, people that they could overwhelm and take easy, people that wasn't paying attention, people they could creep up on, people they can manipulate and pump fear into them. And that's how they chose most of their victims. They talked about how people walk. So we did a whole thing on looking at different gaits, G-A-I-T, like the gait, like how you walk. What's your gait? Do you walk with confidence, or do you walk with as if you have low self-esteem? And there are predators who are out there who watch. They people watch. And they select their victims that way. So walk with your chin up, eyes open and alert. Of course, I always say smile, keep love in your heart. But be aware of your surroundings, be aware of people. Look for things that are out of place. And most of all, pray. Ask the good Lord to bless you, protect you. Let the angels watch over you and your loved ones. Cover yourself in His blood, the blood shed that Jesus shed for us on the cross. and be an able-bodied defender. Blessed be the Lord, my rock, who trains my hands for war and my fingers for battle. And if the wicked ever choose you, and they come for you, you make them pay. Make it a bad day for them and not for you or your loved ones. I will end the video here. Until my next video that I bring up, may the good Lord continue to bless and keep you and your family.